business and the club had just gotten so massive over the years that you had to do a little bit of restructuring around.
Because on the manager, because you've got a history of backing young managers and staying with them. Where's that come from? Why'd you do that? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, obviously.
No, I think that you know, in different ways we have different strategies with our different sports organizations. I assume you were talking about Sean McVay at the Rams, and that was an easy comparison for us. Sean had been in our group out in LA for a few years, and we had seen what he had done culturally to try to reinvent that group. And so, you know, I think that gave us some confidence in that moment to really go after a guy like Mikel. But we also knew that this was going to be a multi-year process.
Right.
And so if you bring somebody in, and that's not to say that our goal wasn't to win right away, but you know, winning at the highest level to me is very much a process. And sometimes you have to experience a little bit of failure to get there. And so, you know, I said it on Sunday, but I'll say it again. I think that the second place finishes and the runner-up finishes the last couple of years really shaped and framed this group to achieve something special this year.
Josh, the moment where I thought, this is serious, and I have predicted that Arsenal would win the league in the last few years, it's not come true until this season, was when you signed Declan Rice. How does that arrive at your door? So basically, I don't know if it's the CEO, whether it's Mikel, whether it's the sporting director, and say, we need to invest over £100 million in a player. And Arsenal have never gone there before to that level.
That was a gigantic moment for everyone, for sure. I remember when Declan's name started to come up, and I knew of the player, but of probably the values associated with him just from reading in the media. And it's not to say it wasn't part of our plan, but it was probably a little, those price tags were a little ahead of where I thought we would be, and what we could afford financially. And so from Mikel to Edu at the time, Tim Lewis, Rich Garlick, it's when those decisions are that big, you have to all come together. And so I think for my one you know, questions around a player like Dec is, you know, you can see if you pay attention to sport, you know who Declan was, and but if you're going to pay that kind of price tag, it can't just be for a talent on the pitch. You need to be getting a plug and play player, and you need to be able to have a leadership ability off it, I think. And I think, you know, the first 10 seconds you talk to Declan, I think you get a pretty good sense of who he is on and off the field.
It must feel great, Josh, you know, to that much outlay, to see a player come in and actually do exactly.
Absolutely.
You know, it must be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Richie.
What's up, my friend?
Ricardo. How are you, Ricardo. It must be great, huh?
Yeah. No, and I think that, you know, and Declan was going through, at the time, I think he had several offers from really big clubs. But I think one of the things that I remember from that moment was Declan wanted to go to a place like where we were to have a chance to achieve something that hadn't been done in a while. I think that says a lot about Declan, the person.
And exactly, especially there's a lot of people who wanted him as well.
Yeah.
Other people wanted him and he came to us.
Yeah.
Josh, talk to me about your team. Obviously, you're an owner, but you have a group of people who run the club. Richard's obviously CEO, you've got a sporting director, you've got a manager. What is your interaction with them like in terms of that spine that runs through the club?
It depends on what's happening at the frequency and timing of year. You know, over the years, our structure has evolved from the board on down, but I'm really proud of the group, especially the group this year, because, you know, our saying at this club is victory through harmony. And, you know, for whatever reason, we finally have achieved that harmony all across the club. And it's been great because you can see and you can feel it when you come in the building.
There is a feeling amongst Arsenal fans, I remember 2 or 3 years ago, because obviously your family's name was getting dragged into the previous stuff, wasn't it? And that must be really tough. I can't imagine what it would be like. But there is a feeling that since you emerged as being sort of what would be the front man for the project, that I think the fans are really on board with you, and it's definitely done an about turn. How important was that to you, just from a personal perspective?
From a personal perspective, I mean, I was torn on the way that we wound up, you know, understanding that we won the league. I was here for the Burnley match, got up at 8 a.m. to fly back to the United States. And so when I landed, I think that Bournemouth had just scored. They went up 1-0, and I'm trying to get home as fast as I can to watch it on TV. And so aside from being here with the group that, you know, put their blood and sweat and all their energy behind this, there was a little bit of being by myself with a loved one, with my fiance, and understanding that, I mean, it was an outpouring of emotion. And to reference and answer your question, there were moments where it was rough. And, you talk about the cultural change, but, when I'm in the United States and I'm getting on a plane by myself to come halfway around the world and everyone's against you, it's not a great feeling. No. And so you really have to know who you can trust in those moments. And I'm really proud of the entire group. I think I'm proud for a lot of different reasons, but for the people involved and what they've seen, the journey that they've been on has been great.
Last question to you, and we'll bring Richard in. What do you say to the fans? What's your message to the fans now, obviously, with that Premier League trophy sitting on your shoulder?
Thank you, and you deserve it. This fan base has been through ups and downs over the years. The banter years, all those different things.
Everything.
No,
we were always behind you.
Come on,
pulling us back. They're pulling us back.
But that's part of the fun of sport.
Absolutely.
We compete and we want to knock each other's heads in while we're out there. But as life goes on and you understand the person behind the competitor that you're facing, it's part of the fun.
Nice.
And that's what makes it really all worthwhile, is just to have a little fun with each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, compete and have fun.
You do have a lot of fun. I think, to be fair, what I would say is that this is a game changer in terms of how the club gets perceived. Because once you win a title, I was just saying to Mikel before, you're in that sort of group and that family of Sir Alex Ferguson, Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp. For Mikel it's huge, but also for you now as an ownership and as an executive, you know how big this is. But Richard, I'm going to say this in a nice way. You're surrounded by huge egos. Let's be clear. Football managers, football players, sporting directors, owners that have demands that because they want success, and you've got to try and knit and glue all that together. How difficult or how enjoyable, challenging is that?
It's challenging in that, as you said, everybody's competing slightly differently. Everybody's got a different view on things. But the thing, we've all had the focus on the same thing, to keep the eyes on the prize. We've always gone back to what it is that we're here for, what is it we're doing. We might have had some bumps in the road. We've got a clear strategy of wanting to win major trophies, not just one trophy, major trophies.
Yes.
To support that, we need to win with our supporters, and I'm sure the connection that we've now got with the supporters over these last few years has been incredible. Some of
we've seen it the last couple of days.
But also, and win financially, we want to make sure that we grow our revenues, that we can invest everything back into the team, into the training ground, into the facilities, into everything we do around the community as well. And I think you're seeing that. You said that winning the title, that's going to unlock a lot of that supporters, the trust that they've put in us, and also the journey that they've been on. And also, as I say, off the field, with everything that we're doing, we're winning off the field, we're winning on the field, we're winning with the supporters, winning with our community. We're in. It's a really good time to be there, and it feels like it's just the start as well. But it's tough keeping and I think I work with such a good group of people as well. We all get on, we all meet regularly, as Josh said. And we all want the same thing, and we've wanted that for a long time.
My last game of the season, because Arsenal had already won the league, Peter Drury and Alan Smith did the commentary on the game, but I was at Tottenham. And on my way home, I get a bike, the taxi bikes on the way home from Tottenham.
Is you driving through Tottenham?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Is that driving through Tottenham?
This is literally about half a mile from Tottenham's ground, and this is for about 4 miles, and I was like, get me out of here. What, honestly, there were Arsenal fans, get me out of here. I mean, that's what you've created on Sunday evening. It was I've never seen it. It was unbelievable what you've created.
Yeah, but Gary, just quickly, that's around the world right now. You've seen Kenya. You've seen Africa.
Man.
You've seen these places. This is the thing with...
I was in Selfridges on Saturday.
Yeah.
There's Arsenal shirts everywhere. I'm like, what are you lot doing in here?
This is the thing. This is the reason, right, Rich, where, people were so against us winning because they know what's coming. Our fan base has been it's been brought together now properly, and they're seeing the enormity of the club right now in what our fans are doing, and how we're responding to this because of what we've been through. And that's what I was saying. When you came on board, Rich, did you realise the enormity of our club, really?
And obviously, I'd worked in football before at West Bromwich Albion for 8 years. Different way of winning there in terms of what it meant not winning championships.
Yeah.
It was about not losing, it was about staying in the league, then moving to the Premier League and working there for 3 years. I always knew Arsenal was a classy club. All my interactions with them were always great, whether that was as an executive at another football club. Actually, I remember West Brom beat Arsenal 3-2, one of my first games, and we got back to the table and they bought a glass of champagne for everyone. Nice touch like that, and you thought, really classy club. And everybody that I knew told me what a great club it was going into. Speaking to people like Dick Law or David
Yes.
Miles or people
Yeah.
like that that have been at the
Miles.
club a long time. You know, they just told you everything about the club, and it's everything I expected. It's just we've managed to unlock that potential. We've woken the giant, we've poked the beast, whatever you want to call it. But you saw that, Gary. You know, in terms of the amount of fans that are now interacting, and it's just unbelievable.
You know, I was going to ask as
Really
well,
is.
just quickly go about the stadium and what's going on with the stadium. What's the ambition for the stadium now? Because you see how many fans we've got everywhere.
Yeah.
Half a mile from Tottenham, there's still thousands and thousands want to be at our place.
Yeah, we were. Yes.
He is not the right man. Honestly. You need to put him in the mascot outfit. The mascot outfit every week.
I'll bring him on the steering group.
Steering committee,
Get an
perfect.
impartial view.
Is
of
there
what-
ambition for the club in the future, guys?
There's always ambition about growing the club in every which way we can. Facilities, whether it's at the stadium, training ground, whether it's like with the supporters around the world, whatever it is, we've got plans. We've been looking at these for a while now, and looking at the options. It's 20 years since we've moved to the Emirates. Feels like a good time to assess what we can do and how we might go about things.
You know, the reason I asked for the stadium, because I can't lie, Tottenham Stadium's amazing.
Beautiful.
And we have to have a better stadium. The stadium's amazing.
Josh, that's going to cost you another $1 billion. Right?
Well, we nearly made that in a year. We might be able to do it next year.
You know, it is, and it's a beautiful stadium. We have SoFi Stadium and other facilities in the United States, and
Yes.
so
SoFi.
we're going to be working on best practices to try to bring over here and really give the Arsenal supporters something special as
Beautiful.
well. Yeah.
Josh, it's never easy. There was a moment where Vinay left, and Vinay was seen as being really important at Arsenal, and maybe he was, and then Edu left. Just talk to us about that sort of change. Obviously, Richard's come in, you've obviously got a new sporting director, but there have been little things
absolutely.
along the way.
Yeah, there's been, and there's lots of people that are part of this victory that aren't here. You know, you mentioned Edu, you mentioned Vinay. There's many other people that have been part of this journey. I mean, for me personally, there's one name that I want to mention, and it's Sir Chips Keswick, which was our previous chairman, and he was a mentor of mine. And you know, God rest his soul now, but you know, I wish he was here to see this day, because during some of those transition phases I mentioned earlier, Chips was a big part of, you know, my knowledge base and thinking about how to run the club. But there's just so many people to name, but I hope that they know that they're part of this as well.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
You've got the most incredible week ahead, going to the Champions League final in Budapest, and that would be talk about game changer. Winning the Premier League title for Arsenal to win the Champions League on Saturday would be, be breathtaking and beyond, I suppose, your wildest dreams. But is this a point now where you get to next Monday and whatever happens? Hello, guys.
Hey,
nice to see you.
Mikel.
Okay.
Nice to see you. Mikel.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you, Rich. Hello. Nice to see you.
How are you, champ?
I'm very good.
Good to see
Very
you.
happy. Sorry, can I sit with you?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, you can see, you can enjoy my shirt.
Oh, lovely.
Is this a point now to consolidate and just keep the foundation, or is it a point to go again and sort of invest again and just, you know, what's your feeling right now?
Yeah, I think if you're not evolving, then people are going to catch you much quicker than you think. And there's already teams that are strengthening behind us right now, so we need to be evolving and strengthening as well if we're going to stay at the top. Because teams, like we have a gigantic target on our back now if we didn't already have one, and I think our staff and our players know it for sure.
Yeah, we talked about winning not just one trophy, but major trophies, and trophies one after another, and you know, this is a great time for us. We've got a great platform to go forward from, and we need to make the most of it. And as Josh said, you know, if you don't evolve, you don't keep moving forward, you stand still, then people catch you up, and we'll do that across the club.
Absolutely.
Well, Joe, I can't thank you enough for both of you coming out today to speak
thank
to
you.
us. Honestly, really appreciate it. And all the best on Saturday. Thank you.
We did it, yeah.
Like that season what we won, I had the same problem. I missed a lot of the season, but I was in the dressing room for every single moment, all the way up to it, and then obviously I came back for the for the end. But how has it been for you, that the journey down to the end with all the pressure that's on us, and you know, you being such a big part of the team? How's it been for you, Mick?
Well, to be honest, it's been hard. I'm very competitive. I always like to be part of the team. I always like to be involved in everything they do. And to be away for 4 months has been really, really hard.
Yeah.
Moments where I know you've probably experienced the same. You don't feel like part of it when you're for a long time out of the squad. But yeah, I've always tried to be involved, being in every meeting, being in every game, you know, giving tips, being around them, and they have been around me as well. So it's been.
So they've kept you, so because it's very easy. Obviously, you was playing all the time.
Yeah.
but in this situation, Gab, the guys kept you in the circle.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's easy for you to be only focused on the next game, on the next training session, and don't and forget a little bit about the injured players. But for us, it's so important to keep everyone around the team. As an injured player, sometimes you can feel apart from the team, and I mean this club, this team is just a family, and they helped me a lot during this period.
Talk to me about last Tuesday night. You're all together. The goal obviously the final whistle goes, Bournemouth, Manchester City, and it does take the magic moments, aren't they? How special was it all being together in that moment?
No, it wasn't real. It was probably the best moment in the season so far for me. That celebration with all the staff members, with all the players, not even dressed as football players, but being. Yes. It was weird in some aspect, because obviously celebrating a title with not wearing your kit and being on the pitch is weird, but. Yeah, that connection, that feeling of relief, of finally getting that trophy, getting over the line is just unreal, and being able to share it with everyone in this club is just great.
How tough has it been to get over the line, and what has been the difference this year that maybe last year just didn't quite happen in the year before? You've been so close.
Yeah, I mean, this club has been so close for so many years, and I think the big difference this season is that when tough times came, because always during the Premier League season you're going to have tough moments, and we had a couple this season, but you could see the team being stick together, and with that enough maturity to know, okay, this is a bad moment, this is a bump in the road, but we're going to get through it together, and it doesn't matter if we play a beautiful football or bad football, but we have to stick together and get those points and those games going, and I think everyone stuck together, and here we have the reward.
I saw a beautiful picture, and someone showed me a beautiful picture of you coming off the pitch, and you was with Miles Lewis, Skilly, and Ethan. What's it like with those guys of that caliber in and around you, obviously with your experience?
It's great to have those young players around you, and it's a very delicate situation when you're young, when you're that talented, when you have that spotlight on you, and everyone wants you to succeed and keep improving and show your best level every single time. You have to be very careful with them, because the talent is there, but it's very delicate. And a bad season, a bad moment can turn things around. So yeah, it's great having them. They are very good kids. Everyone in this club is trying to help them in particular, that every single player from the academy to be in the best atmosphere possible. And yeah, me as a veteran right now, definitely veteran in this team. I'm 30, but in this team I'm one of the oldest. Try to give them all the best advice, and to be honest, they are very good listeners, and that's the most important thing.
What are the dynamics like in that dressing room? You just said you give advice, but who are the big talkers? Who are the big sort of what would be characters in the dressing room that sort of, take the lead?
I mean, obviously, as in every squad, we try to give everyone a voice. Everyone has the power of speaking their mind and being proactive. But yeah, the leadership group, there's a couple of us that we try and push everyone. The Declan, obviously Martin, David Raya, Timba, like all the guys that have been here for a long time, that they know what this club means and represents. And yeah, everyone has a role, a different one. All of them are very important, and you need everyone to fulfill their role to get to the Premier League.
You see, in respect of now, obviously the league, how's the focus now for arguably, you have to say, it's probably the biggest game in Arsenal's history, especially coming off of winning it, something that we've never won before. What's it like at the moment? Because winning and trying to suppress the joy because you've got such a big game. What's it like at the moment? I'm intrigued.
I mean, I would say it's exciting. As you said, I think we have to use that joy. Don't get carried away with the feeling of we've achieved something magical, and just be happy with that. But get that momentum, get that energy, that joy, as you said, to prepare these couple of days before the final, and then give everything. We know it's going to be a very tough game. PSG is an unbelievable team, but for certain we know that we are as well. So it's going to be a tough one, a close one, and hopefully it's going to be on our side.
I get winning goal energy off of you at the moment. I can feel the story now, Miguel. You've been injured. You just come back at the end there, and then bam, winning goal.
Yeah, hopefully.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.